Hi, I'm Amber Stott, founding executive director of the Food Literacy Center. We are a nonprofit in Sacramento that inspires kids to eat their vegetables. We have the best job in the world. We get to teach kids how to cook and about nutrition. We basically inspire kids to eat their vegetables. So we are in the schools, in low-income schools. We are actually in 6 schools now in the Sacramento region in after-school programs, and we're working with an average of about 150 kids per school, so about 730 kids a week we are serving, and we go in there and we play with our food. So we're cooking recipes, we're doing science experiments, we're doing little crafts, and we're just helping them learn about food, where it comes from, what it tastes like. We do something called Produce of the Day. It's my favorite thing that we do, where every single day at the end of class, doesn't matter whether we've cooked or not, we bring in a piece of produce for the kids to taste. So some weeks it's a blood orange, other weeks it's a turnip, and we just want to get them out of their comfort zone experiencing a new fruit or vegetable. And by the time they've completed a food literacy program, we call them food adventurers, because they're really willing to bite into anything, and I like it. It's a lot of fun. Again, just many layers over many years. I grew up with 2.5 acres, and my grandma actually just passed away this past Sunday. But you know, I grew up at her knee cooking amazing food that we picked right out of our own yard, and I want all kids to have that kind of joy in their lives and to be able to experience the flavors and the tastes. And when I hear about kids that have never had a fresh tomato, an heirloom tomato, or an heirloom carrot, or even just fresh broccoli, it's crazy to me, because again, it's growing all around us here in Sacramento. So let's give those kids these experiences, because the more food literate someone is, the more inspired they are to change our food environment. I was in the classroom, and it was a 4th and 5th grade class, and we were basically having a discussion on fat that day. And fats, yeah. And one of the kids raised their hand and they said, "Miss Amber, is there any fat that isn't made in nature? Are they all found in the foods that grow in nature?" And I was like, let me think about that. I was like, actually, there is one. It's called trans fat, and we really don't want to eat that kind of fat because it's not very good for our bodies, and that one is made in a factory. And they said, well, if it's not very good for us, why do they make it? And I said, well, they make it because it keeps food on the shelf for a lot longer, so that it doesn't spoil, and then they can sell more of it, and they can hang on to it longer, and et cetera, et cetera. And they said, when they make it, do they know that it's not any good for us? And I said, yeah, they do. And another kid raised her hand and she said, Miss Amber, that's not fair. Less than 25% of our kids are eating their daily recommended amounts of fruits and vegetables, and they're all around us. So for me, the answers are somewhat simple. The problem is very complex, but we had to start somewhere, and we really need to start with our youngest kids, because we have 2 generations of Americans that don't know how to cook. So if we start with the itty bitties, hopefully in future generations we won't have these problems. And I can't conceive of the layers we'll be fixing 2 generations from now, but hopefully these simple ones of just being able to feed ourselves fruits and vegetables will not be an issue anymore.